Coming off the back of 2 Premier League titles, 2 domestic cups, a UEFA Cup, and a Champions League in the space of 2 years, Jose Mourinho was the hottest commodity in all of Europe in the summer of 2004. At just 41 years old and 4 seasons into management, Mourinho had some of the biggest clubs around the world chasing after his services and looking to make him the highest paid coach in the world. In the midst of the pursuit for Mourinho's signature, Mourinho himself was pursuing a job that he held in great regard and one that he felt would be a fair reward for his achievements thus far. In March of that year, after Porto travelled to England for the second leg of their round of 16 tie against Manchester United, Mourinho sent some representatives on his behalf to look into the possibility of him taking over at Liverpool and succeeding the much-beloved Gerard Houllier. Houllier had been in charge of Liverpool for the past 6 years and led the club to the famous Cup treble season in 2001, but since that season, performances and results had been steadily declining. By the time Mourinho's agent at the time, George Bidek, went to Liverpool's Melwood training ground under the guise of discussing transfer business, Liverpool were sitting in 7th fighting for Champions League football with Birmingham, Newcastle, Charlton Athletic and Aston Villa. Bidek, who was accompanied by an associate of his with Liverpool connections, met with Liverpool's chief executive Rick Parry and stated outright that Jose Mourinho wanted to manage Liverpool. Mourinho was allegedly a massive admirer of the club and was fascinated by the idea of what he considered the most prestigious club in England and bringing them back to the pinnacle of world football. In a February interview on what the future held, Jose Mourinho said, "Liverpool are a team that interests everyone. Chelsea does not interest me so much because it is a new project with lots of money invested in it. I think it is a project which, if the club failed to win everything, then Abramovich could retire and take the money out of the club. It's an uncertain project. It is interesting for a coach to have the money to hire quality players, but you never know if a project like this will bring success." Despite the success Mourinho had already achieved at Porto and his willingness to manage Liverpool, Rick Parry insisted to Bidek that Liverpool were fully behind Houllier and would only consider making a decision of that magnitude once the season was over. That same evening, Porto equalized in the 90th minute against United to knock them out of the Champions League and went on to win the whole thing 2 months later. Once the season was over, Mourinho had completely turned around on his opinion on the Chelsea project, while Liverpool had fired Gerard Houllier to reopen the possibility of Mourinho taking over at the club. By the time Liverpool got in touch with Mourinho's people again, Chelsea had already made him a much more attractive offer and Abramovich had personally assured Mourinho that he would provide him with everything he required to be successful. With Chelsea hiring Mourinho, Liverpool then went after Rafael Benitez from Valencia, while Claudio Ranieri, who had been sacked by Chelsea, replaced Benitez at Valencia. So within the space of 14 days, those 3 clubs swapped and shuffled 3 managers around and in the process changed the course of history. Mourinho and Benitez would spend the next 3 years feuding and competing for trophies as Liverpool went on to win the Champions League in 2005 after beating Chelsea in the semi-finals, while Chelsea beat Liverpool in the League Cup final and broke the Premier League points record in Mourinho's first season in charge. Mourinho has since spent the last 16 years undermining and antagonizing Liverpool at each and every opportunity, but beneath the surface of disregard for the club, there's probably a part of Mourinho that wonders, what if things had turned out differently? What if Liverpool had given me a chance at my dream job all the way back in 2004?